Hey everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. Today I am struggling to just get to the next level. You ever get that feeling you've on your third cup of coffee and you really just need to get over that next hump and you can't? That's kind of where I'm at. But hopefully this video wakes you and myself up. Today we're going to talk about how to prevent theft, bike theft, when you are on a bike packing trip. Let's do it. So the reason I bring this up is in my recent video, what's in a gravel bike packing setup, I didn't bring a lock. And I didn't bring a lock on purpose because, well, there's some other techniques that you can use to prevent bike theft other than a lock. But there are some circumstances where you definitely want to bring a lock. So I'll kind of cover all of that right now in this video. So I genuinely feel like humans are good people. They don't want to steal bikes. But unfortunately, crime does happen, and there are some bad eggs out there. So you do need to be on your toes, especially when you roll into a town for a resupply, if you're eating at a restaurant, or even sleeping at a campsite with other people. You should definitely be aware that people may want to steal things from your bike or your bike in general. So the first tip I have is if you are with a group of people, or at least two people, and you roll into a town, have someone else watch your bike or have one person stay outside so that you can feel comfortable when you are inside shopping and you don't have to worry about your bike outside. So another tip is park your bike next to a window so that you can keep an eye on it while you're shopping inside a convenience store. So another tip is just bring the bike inside the convenience store or the grocery store. Sure, this might not be able to work for all circumstances, but you know that area, that Lotto area or the Coinstar area? I typically find a good nook over there and let it park for a little bit while I shop. All right, so another trick is to shift your bike into the most challenging gear to pedal. And so that would be the biggest chainring up front and the smallest chainring in the back, as you see here. This way, if somebody does get on the bike, it's gonna be really hard for them to accelerate quickly. Another trick is to just drop the chain altogether. This way they can't actually pedal away, but they can roll it away or run it away. So I do think actually having the chain on the front chainring, the big chainring, is probably your best move. But either way, those will definitely help alleviate anybody from rolling off with it or at least pedaling it away quickly. Gilbert actually had a really good recommendation. He uses the guy line of his tent on the occasion and ties it to his handlebar or his bike. So in the event that someone tries to steal the bike, that action will more than likely wake you up. So another trick is to either take your seat post off, loosen up or take out your through axles, or just take your front wheel into the convenience store or restaurant with you. That will definitely help alleviate anybody from rolling off with your bike. So another trick is to use the buckle of your helmet and clip it between your wheel and some sort of tubing on your bike, your down tube in your front wheel, or your seat stay in your rear wheel. This way the bike can't be pedaled. The only downside to this is if somebody does pedal off with your bike, you'll probably have a broken spoke or something like that. So some other tools that kind of mimic that exact same idea are some webbing straps, a volet strap, some one-wrap Velcro, even maybe an empty bike bag or a bike bag, the buckle system on your bike bag. Just be creative. So another tool is zip ties. If zip ties are the only thing that you kind of have laying around, you could always zip tie the chain to your chain ring or the brake rotor to your brake caliper. You can kind of be creative, but these are a great tool to have not only for fixing things, but for security too. All right, so those were some really good options for folks that don't want to carry a lock, don't have room for a lock, or forgot their lock. But there are some really great lightweight minimalist lock options out there. The auto lock, the hip lock, there's some really minimalist cable locks out there, or some really small combo cable locks. While I probably wouldn't feel comfortable locking my bike up with those locks without being near it, they're more or less a deterrent, and they probably will do a pretty good job deterring a thief from actually taking your bike, because it's going to be more effort. Logan mentions a tip that he's done in the past with locking two pedals together, whether they were flat pedals, or I would say an SPD pedal would work with a really skinny cable lock. But in general, locking two bikes together is probably better than locking just one bike to itself, because, well, it's going to be a lot more challenging for someone to haul two bikes off rather than just one. So for instance, this specific lock probably wouldn't be able to fit through pedals, but you could lock two bikes together with this pretty well. This one obviously is a little bit bigger. It's got a thicker gauge cable to it. I actually do like these mainly because they are more packable than, say, a U-lock. So other options out there, obviously a U-lock, but this lock right here, this is the Abus Bordeaux Light. This lock is really great because, well, it is light, rather light for what it is, but it looks super burly. So this would be a great visual deterrent if you wanted to use it. And really it doesn't take up too much space if you have room within a frame bag or something like that. So there's tons of different options out there, and you kind of just have to weigh your options. How much civilization you're gonna be in. Are you gonna be stopping on the Appalachian gravel growler, getting a beer all the time? You know, if you're doing stuff like that, or doing more front country bike packing, you may want to consider bringing a lock. If you are in the backcountry almost all the time, say on the Colorado Trail, you do go through towns where you're probably going to want to be cautious, but at the same time, you might be able to leave the lock at home. It really depends on your comfort level. A few other resources out there: if you are carrying a tracker on your bike and your bike is stolen, use that. Go to the police right away and say, hey, I've got a tracker on my bike. We can use this, we can find this bike right away. It's a good resource. So if you're really worried or sketched out, you can use two of those systems. Lock your bike up and drop your chain, or lock your bike up and use your helmet, or lock your bike up inside a grocery store. And remember, people might not just be looking to steal the bike, but they may be looking for electronics that are on the bike, or things that are attached to the bike that look appealing. So just be cautious. If you're going inside, bring things that might be more valuable inside with you. So it's now your turn to share the locks that you use, the methods that you prevent theft, because we're all in this together. We don't want to have a bike stolen. So leave a comment in the comment section below so that we can all learn more about different techniques and tricks to prevent bike theft. If you haven't done so already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to help us out a little bit more, consider joining the Bikepacking Collective, which is our membership through BIKEPACKING.com. For more info, I will make sure to link that in the description below, or you can click right here. All right, everyone, thank you all so much for tuning in. And until next time, pedal further.